Well, hello. My name's Adrian Gilbert, and I run something called the Invisible College. Now, I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end here. But today, we're going to do the first of a new series of lectures I'm going to be doing. Shorties, short lectures. I'm told that YouTube likes short lectures much more than long ones. So, I'm going to be doing more and more of these short lectures, 10 minutes or less, I hope. And I'll keep the long lectures for the college that I run itself, hour-long lectures. So without more ado, this one is about IQ. And what is IQ? Well, it stands for intelligence quotient, IQ. And in maths, a quotient is one number divided by another. And originally, IQ meant the mental age divided by the actual age multiplied by 100. So if a child of 4 has a mental age of 6, then the IQ of the child is measured as 6 over 4 times 100, which is equal to 1.5 times 100 equal to 150. Such a child will be eligible to join Mensa, the club for supposedly intelligent people who have a score of 150 or more. Right? So, great for them. But does it really work like that? I don't think so. Let's look a little bit further into this. There are obvious flaws in this reasoning. If a child of 10 has a mental age of 12, then their IQ could be given as 12 over 10 times 100, which equals 120. So the apparent age difference between the calendar age and mental age, 10-year-old, is still 2 years, but the IQ has dropped by 30 points from 150 to 120. So you have your 10-year-old acting like a 12-year-old mentally, but they don't have an IQ of 150, like the 4-year-old acting like 6. They've dropped to 120. Is that fair? Is that right? Does it make much sense? For a child of 10 to score an IQ of 150, they would have to have a mental age of 15, i.e., 5 years difference. And that would mean that, your IQ would be accelerating to keep up with itself. You now, 2 years is not enough. You now got to be 5 years ahead of your peers. You do get kids a bit like that. They go to university at a ridiculously young age, but it usually means they haven't developed in other areas of their life. This whole IQ idea, I think, has been very much manipulated and misused, and we need to look a little bit further into it. In fact, IQ, as originally defined, only works with children. But theoretically, if you were 40 years old and you had a mental age of 80, you would also have a mathematical IQ of 150. I doubt whether many 40-year-olds would want to have a mental age of 80 or think it a great thing to boast about. In practice, intelligence tests are designed to compare mental ability with the average level for the given age or age band. And this gives rise to the so-called bell curve. That's how they actually do it now. The concept is that there is a midpoint in intelligence that we call an IQ of 100. By definition, if this is the truth, the midpoint, this is truly the midpoint, then 50% of people will be on the plus side of this line and 50% on the lower side. Of course, there will be some who are bang on the 100 point, so it is not quite 50% each way. So 100 is taken as the average. It's a bit of an arbitrary average, but what they do is they test lots of people to find out more or less what the right score is for a particular test. And then if you do above that score, you're above, and then below. So here's the bell curve, and you can see here that within this picture here, you've got 34.1%, in that increased area there, and 34.1% the other side. then you notice that as you progress a bit further, there are smaller amounts of people on even higher than that, and vanishingly small, getting right up to the really, really, really high Elon Musk level. And the same on the other side, you got decreasing intelligence to someone who's basically, I suppose, in a coma. But in actuality, intelligence tests are flawed anyway. Firstly, it's possible to improve your score by having special coaching. Children who are hothoused by pushy parents and by being pushed into studying subjects that are really beyond their age range will likely score better marks. Also, if they have already been trained on equivalent exam papers prior to sitting the test. So if you had training beforehand, especially if you've been training on those kind of test papers, you're going to do better than the kid who hasn't ever seen a paper like that before. It is like doing crossword puzzles. If you do these every day, you develop a knack for them. If you only do them very occasionally, then you will likely find them much harder. It's cheating, but parents do this. But that's not what I'm going to be talking to you about today. An even worse failing is that it's assumed that taking a snapshot, as it were, will reveal a person's IQ as a fixed quantity. In actuality, our mental function is always changing. We have days when our intellect is much sharper and others when it is less. This can be due to lack of sleep, stress, preoccupation with other things on our minds, emotional states. For example, you may have fallen in love, or you may have just been dumped by your girlfriend or boyfriend. Now, that's going to put you out. And in the real world, IQ is changeable. And someone with a measured IQ of 125 might at times drop to just average, or could even, on a really good day, exceed this figure. There might be days when they are like 150, and it could even be days when they dropped a little bit below the average. Sometimes, certain things you eat give you mental fog. Mental fog, that'll knock out your IQ. I get that sometimes if I eat things that have got soya in them. I can't take it. So, what is to be done? Well, obviously, you need to get good sleep and exercise your brain on a regular basis. If you want to retain intelligence into old age, then the brain must be treated like a muscle. It needs exercise to keep it healthy. And the other thing is, you need good nutrition. Your brain uses a lot of energy, and this must be supplied. There are very, very many ways to do this, but one essential is B vitamins. These are often deficient, especially if you eat a lot of carbs or pee a lot. And that applies in particular to diabetics. So supplement your food with vitamins. Yes, B vitamins in particular, your brain really does need, especially B1 and B2 and B3, and B12. Very, very important. And you're very likely not getting that in your food. Not enough of it anyway. Our food these days, we eat too much processed food, it's deficient. So that's basically what I wanted to say. In 10 minutes, I said you can improve your IQ, and if you take these vitamins, and maybe C as well, and there's some other things you can take, but I'll go into that in a longer lecture than this. You will improve your mental capacity and your mental health. Now, before I go, I do run this something called the Invisible College, invisiblecollege.uk. If you look on there, you'll find a list of programs, videos that I put up on YouTube. You'll find them anywhere on YouTube if you really look. Go on my channel, YouTube channel. But I've put about 100 free programs there. And I also have something called the Invisible College, where I'm actually training people in self-development and in a lot of other esoteric ideas and concepts, things you're not taught in school. Nobody's ever going to tell you. They maybe don't even, they almost certainly don't know a lot of what I teach on this college. And it's very cheap, only £5 a month to become a basic member. You can go to our higher levels as well. I recommend you have a look at those YouTube videos. If you like what I'm doing there, think about coming and joining the college itself. You'll find that on patreon.com/Adrian G. Gilbert. And that will take you to my Patreon page. And I'll put it all in the list at the bottom here. So thank you for your time. And I look forward to talking to you again. Thank you.